It's time for Mornings at 8 with Jonathan Mark on AM 1480 WLEA.
Well, yes, it is time for Mornings at 8, and here we are. It's about, 6 minutes after 8 o'clock on a Thursday morning. Normally I say Thursday is practically Friday, but maybe it's me. But this doesn't really sound like, it feels like Thursday. On the other hand, it doesn't feel like Monday either, or Friday. It's kind of weird when Christmas occurs in the middle of the week. This is the day after Christmas. So, I don't know. This week and next week, it's kind of unusual. So you might call this, the day after Christmas Thursday, or something like that. Or take everything back and exchange it Thursday, or something. Anyway, it's the day after Christmas, that's right. And just look at the debris in your living room, and the dining room, and the kitchen. What a mess. Wrapping paper, there's bows, ribbons, boxes, styrofoam packaging. It's funny. It's either, I don't know, the day after Christmas is kind of weird because, or actually it starts late Christmas afternoon. And especially so the day after Christmas. But you think that, everybody has been on sort of a sugar high for several weeks, maybe 2 months, and you look around at all those decorations and all that stuff and you say, huh? And you've been in a fog for like 2 months, and all of a sudden it's over and you say, what are we doing with all these decorations? But I don't know. It's kind of strange. So it's sort of a letdown. But have no fear, because this is only the second day of Christmas. And there are 12 days of Christmas, which I will get to in a few moments. The second day of Christmas, the first day of Christmas, of course, is Christmas Day. But then you have 11 days after that. And it's really interesting. I did a little bit of background on this. Anyway, before we do that, let me, there are a lot of laws and things that come out of Albany. And some of the laws are very good. And some things that happen in Albany are real head scratchers. You just got to wonder. On the upside, the governor has signed the Safe Way Home Act. The Safe Way Home Act. And the governor says the legislation provides survivors of sexual assault no-cost transportation from medical facilities where they received initial care in the wake of an assault to their home, shelter, or other safe location. And the governor says sexual assault is a heinous crime. And boy, I don't think it gets really any more heinous than that. It's a heinous crime that can have devastating impacts on the survivors, especially in the immediate aftermath of the abuse they suffered. He says the measure will give some peace of mind and security at a time when victims are most vulnerable by helping ensure that they get home or to a safe location. And the legislation goes into effect after 90 days. And that is a really good law. Because I've never had any firsthand experience with it, but it's got to be just totally devastating. So if the victim knows that they have a safe way home, I think that is a very, very good thing. And that is a good law. But then on the other hand, a head scratcher here. This is from NBC News. The governor has blocked some federal judges from officiating at weddings because, why? Because they might be Trump nominees. The governor has vetoed a totally non-controversial bipartisan bill that would have allowed all federal judges to officiate weddings in the state because some might have been nominated to the bench by President Trump. And this was totally non-controversial and, bipartisan. Let me see. It passed it passed the Senate by a 61-1 vote. That's pretty bipartisan. And it passed the Assembly 144-2. Again, non-controversial, bipartisan. Everybody was on board except our governor. He said, and this is a quote from, from the New York Post, "I cannot in good conscience support legislation that would authorize such actions by federal judges who are appointed by this federal administration." And he went on, "President Trump does not embody who we are as New Yorkers." The Democrat governor added, "The cornerstones that built our great state are diversity, tolerance, and inclusion. Based on these reasons, I must veto this bill." So practically everybody in Albany was for it, and the governor vetoed it. Currently, New York law permits all state judges in their official capacity to preside over wedding ceremonies, although only certain federal judges, like those in the Second Circuit Court of Appeals and those at each of the state's federal district courts, are eligible to preside over weddings. This bill would have expanded the wedding authority to all federal judges, largely those from outside New York. So, but the governor vetoed it because they might be Trump nominees. I really don't think that makes what you would call a lot of sense, really. But anyway, so one thing's good, one thing's bad, or kind of as a head scratcher, as I said. Okay, I did mention that this is the second day of Christmas. As we know, there are 12 days of Christmas. So this isn't over yet. However, over the years, it's become really one day. It used to be 12 days. Now it's only one day. And at the end of the 12 days of Christmas, of course, is the Epiphany, which tradition says is when the wise men appeared in Bethlehem, or arrived in Bethlehem. So we know the song, The 12 Days of Christmas, right? And you've heard it and heard it and heard it. And I did a little bit of research on this. And to some people, the 12 Days of Christmas seems like a really weird little song, sort of a childish thing. Actually, it's not. It's a profound song. And I'll tell you why. Pretty interesting. In 16th century England, it goes back a long way. In 16th century England, teaching the Catholic faith was outlawed. And I mean really outlawed. If you taught the Catholic faith to a child, it wasn't like an appearance ticket, like a catch and release. Oh no, you could possibly be drawn and quartered if you taught the Catholic faith to a child. So, therefore, any Catholics in England went underground. And they had to be very careful, very, very careful of what they talked about to whom, okay? So that you had to be really, really careful. So now how did they get around this? They still want to teach the Catholic faith. So some Catholic clerics got together and wrote a poem. They wrote a poem. And eventually it was put to music, and that's where the song came from. But originally it was a poem. And each item, now let me see, 12 Days of Christmas. It starts on Christmas Day. So this is the second day of Christmas. And let me see, we have a partridge in a pear tree. We have a couple of turtle doves, French hens, calling birds, 5 gold rings, geese, 7 swans, 8 maids, 9 ladies dancing, 10 lords a-leaping, 11 pipers, and 12 drummers. And each one of those individual gifts on that day represent another aspect or a tenet of the Catholic faith. Only it's in code. So I'll just give you like one or two so you'll get the drift. You know, I'm not a theologian. Hey, man, I am a guy with a microphone, okay? I'm not a theologian, right? But I'll just give you like one or two, and we'll let it go with that. The partridge in a pear tree. A partridge in a pear tree. Well, the partridge in a pear tree represents Christ. That is the partridge in a pear tree. And why a partridge? Well, a mother partridge is the only bird that will die to protect its young. Bet you didn't know that. Well, it's true. A mother partridge is the only bird that will die to protect its young, and that is self-explanatory, and there we are. And then we have, let me see, 2 turtle doves. 2 turtle doves represent the Old and New Testaments. And then it goes on and on. There were 3 French hens and, and all this stuff. I mean, each and every gift represents another aspect of the Catholic faith. So they would teach this song to their children. and explained very carefully and very quietly what each one meant. So these children, their children could sing this song, recite the poem, and, anybody who was anti-Catholic would have no idea what they were talking about. So that's where the song came from. And initially, as I said, Christmas, the Christmas season was 12 days long. So we go from December 25th, 12 days, right? So they would give gifts for 12 days. So this thing lasted for days and days and days. But over the years, now it would be totally impractical. I mean, look at all we've been doing for like 2 months for one day. So if you carry this thing out for 12 days, it'd be just a little impractical, impossible, and it just wouldn't work. So, but technically, it goes on for 12 days. So that's why we have Christmas, and that's why the 12 days of Christmas and the song and the whole thing. And I think it's really, really interesting. I mean, they could not teach their children this faith. As I said, that was in 16th century England, and that's how that went. Well, let me see. What else we can talk about here for Christmas? Online sales. Boy, did we spend money. Let me see. U.S. holiday e-commerce sales hit a new record high, up 18.8% from 2018, according to the MasterCard data reported by Reuters. Overall holiday retail sales rose 3.4%. Sales estimates from the National Retail Federation range from 3.8% to 4.2%. E-commerce sales this year represented about 15% of total retail between November 1st and Christmas Eve. The holiday shopping season is crucial for retailers, we all know that, accounting for up to 40% of the sales for the entire year. Wowee, it's pretty important. The calendar didn't help the industry as Thanksgiving fell on November 28th, which was a week later than last year. So that meant retailers had 6 fewer days to drive sales leading to Christmas. And who's this? Steve Sadove, senior analyst for MasterCard. He says, due to a later than usual Thanksgiving holiday, we saw retailers offering omni-channel sales. I never heard that word, omni-channel sales, earlier in the season, meeting consumers' demand for the best deals across all channels and devices. So that's e-commerce and in the store and the entire thing. So apparently, it was a very, very good sales year. So the economy is doing better, right? The economy is doing better. You can read whatever you want to read. Go check out whatever source you want, but the economy is doing very well. And I just thought I'd throw this in too. Let me see. Record employment, record low unemployment, record high stock market, record high sales. I think things are doing pretty well. I think they're doing pretty well overall. However, I have here, apparently not everybody is in a really holiday type mode. Some people are definitely not in a holiday mood. How about this? Where did I get this from? Fox News. A delivery driver in Michigan is seen in the video running over Amazon package 3 times. Apparently he had enough of Christmas, and that's it. Sort of anti-holiday mood here. He allegedly destroyed a holiday package he was supposed to drop off for an Amazon customer, according to a report. Surveillance video captured by neighbors in Troy, in Michigan, shows the driver place the package in front of the back tire and then proceed to run it over repeatedly, not just once, but several times. He runs over this package. And after the driver stops in front of the home, he appears to attempt to deliver the package before heading back to the truck and carefully placing the package beneath the truck's rear tire and driving back and forth over it numerous times, crushing the item, the report said. Okay, the guy is not really in a holiday mood here. Anyway, some neighbor was outraged by the video. which amazingly goes on to show the guy come back around and run over the package again. Soon after, around 4 o'clock on the December 17th, the neighbor himself picked up what was left of the package. And it was a smart remote for a garage door, and he delivered it to the intended customer, this neighbor. So the neighbor says Amazon replaced the order but insisted that such behavior must stop before he delivers any more holiday gifts. So he was just a bystander, saw what happened, and he delivered it himself, and Amazon said, no, you shouldn't do that. Okay. The van was unmarked, by the way, leading the neighbor to suspect the driver was under contract with a third-party delivery service. So there you go. Whoever this guy was delivering the package was not in a very good mood. Okay, well, how about insurance? Is there package insurance? Well, there might be. I don't know. You could find out. And if you need insurance, whatever kind of insurance you need, for whatever, you can do no better anywhere than contact the Ryan agencies. They have offices in Hornell, Jasper, and Wellsville. They are insurance experts. It is a complicated thing. Insurance is really, really complicated. And unless you know what you're doing, good luck, right? So you can do no better than contact the Ryan agencies. They offer sound, unbiased advice. They are beholden to no one insurance company. They have all these companies at their disposal. And when you walk in and you tell them what you need, they will help you out because they are experts. They are the Ryan agencies.
From the Fox Sports Studios in Los Angeles, here's Brian Fenley.
Raiders running back Josh Jacobs posted a video of himself on Twitter overnight in an apparent hospital bed with a bandage around his left leg. And in this video, he wrote, quote, "This was random. I didn't plan on even being here." Jacobs was not privy on what the injury was, did not disclose that publicly, or the procedure that was done, or how long this might keep him out. NBA insider Dave McMenamin is expecting LeBron James to miss some time after James aggravated a groin injury when Patrick Beverley ran into him last night in the Clippers' 111-106 win over the Lakers. James had 23 points in that game. Kawhi Leonard had 35 on 5 of 7 shooting from three-point territory, while the Pelicans win their second in a row and beat the Nuggets 112-100. Brandon Ingram, 31 points.
I'm Deirdre Bolton, and this is the Fox Business Report.
If you didn't go wild with your holiday spending this year, you're not alone. Nearly 3/4 of consumers didn't have plans to increase their spending during the season of giving, and 22% are spending less than they did last year, according to a survey from Bankrate. There are many reasons why people are spending less. Over a quarter say they're focusing on saving money, while over a fifth say they're focused on paying back debt. In fact, about 48 million Americans are still paying off credit card debt from last holiday season, according to NerdWallet. And then there's some who admit to not having as much cash as they did last year, while others worry about the state of their finances, especially millennials. And out of all of the generations, baby boomers are the most likely to pay for their entire holiday purchases with saved cash versus a credit card because their financial lives are more settled. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Hillary Barsky, invested in you.
Guys, waking up over and over to pee is not okay. You can reduce those nighttime bathroom trips with the ingredients in Super Beta Prostate P3 Advanced. You can try a full 30-day bottle free. Just pay shipping and handling. No strings attached, no obligations, and no commitments to buy. Call 1-800-424-7125. 1-800-424-7125. 1-800-424-7125.
At the Simmons Rockwell Nissan stores in Horseheads and Hornell, drive away in a new Nissan Altima SR all-wheel drive sedan for only $329 a month. New all-wheel drive 2020 Altima 2.5 SR models equipped with 19-inch alloys, sport-tuned suspension, and remote start. Lease with no money down for $329 a month for 36 months. Only tax and DMV fees are due at signing. Shop Simmons-Rockwell.com.
Okay, and here we are. We're back. We're going to get this. The Anchorage Daily News. I will go anywhere for a story. This is in Anchorage, Alaska, right? And this is a story about how 2 dead ducks almost burned down a house. Now, how in the world did that happen? Okay, let me see. This gentleman, Brad Austin, was drinking coffee and getting ready for work when he heard a strange popping sound, like metal in a clothes dryer. So this Brad Austin looks outside and he sees an orange glow through a window. He pokes his head outside door and sees his front porch is on fire. So he calls 911, then he grabs a fire extinguisher and a garden hose and he gets involved in fighting the fire. And well, they got it out, but the fire chief there says it took them a little while to figure out exactly what happened. And here's what happened. Austin's 26-year-old son, Lyman, is an avid duck hunter and frequently brings his catch home for drying and butchering. But last year, the family painted their home, and at that time, they pulled the nails where Lyman usually hung his ducks. Are you following this? With the nails gone, he started hanging them from the porch light fixture using a nylon strap. And that wasn't a problem until one night, when the family left the light on overnight. That was the big thing, says Austin. I think I had gone to bed first and hadn't turned the light off. So according to these firefighters who had to put this thing together, right, they figured it out, the ducks' waterlogged feathers dried out and began to smolder. At a certain point, the natural oils in the duck's feathers ignited, turning into wicks for duck-scented candles as fire consumed the duck's fat. The flames ignited the home's wood siding and set the fire toward the eaves. The burning ducks melted through their hanging strap, landing on a rubber mat that also caught fire. So as Austin fought the fire, he shouted for his son to get out of the shower, grab their dogs, and get out of the house. So no one was hurt. The porch was pretty well burned, as well as the eaves, and he's pretty blasé about it. He says, well, it's not like half my house burned down. Maybe that's how they are in Juneau, Alaska. I don't know. He says, well, it's not like half my house burned down. Okay, so he's laughing at it. And the fire chief there says, if the family had been asleep or something like that, it could have been really, really bad. So that's, so you might call this the duck's revenge. Who knows? Okay, how much time have I got? I don't know. Here's, let me see. Oh boy. An alleged bank robber in Colorado apparently wanted to spread some Christmas joy before he was arrested Monday. So witnesses say they saw a man throw money from a bag onto a street in Colorado Springs while yelling, Merry Christmas. Looks like he had a little too much eggnog there. Anyway, so he's throwing money on the bank, or on the sidewalk. And that was just moments after a branch of the Academy Bank was robbed. Odd. So the witnesses described the robber, later identified as a 65-year-old guy, as an older white male. Yeah, okay. Well, anyway, who threatened to use a weapon and left the bank with an undisclosed amount of cash. So he's sitting in front of a coffee shop, and they arrested him there. But apparently he was just in a really holiday mood, jolly mood. He robs a bank, and he's throwing this money all around saying a Merry Christmas. Okay, very good. He kind of looks almost like Santa Claus, if Santa Claus had a really, really rough night. Yeah, anyway, okay, Merry Christmas, here we go. And that's it for this morning's show, and I will see you tomorrow at 8:05. Bye.